What's going on? I'm recording this a second time because the first time I wasn't fluent, I wasn't natural, I wasn't being myself. So let me record it again. It's November 24th, week 3 of November. And here's a quick update on what happened so far the last week. 2 closes from one from each one of our closers. So that's slower than we want it to be, but not horrible. Our new closer got his first sale, which was a win. We fired one person. We lost our partner success manager, who then came back to be our part-time partner success manager, but still manage all of our partners. We also changed our model, which we can't really talk about openly at the moment, but as the changes are rolling out, I will tell you more about it. Now, lessons from this week. How fast things can change continue to blow my mind. Look, I'm sure this has happened to you. You wake up one day and the world is crumbling. I mean, things are going wrong. The business is dying. You have no money in the bank account. You feel like everything you've built is just crumbling. No department in the company is working. The one thing that you used to be the best at in the company, that you used to have as your strongest suit, that's falling behind, and everything is falling behind. If that's the case, you've probably also had a day not too far after that point, or not too much before that point, where you felt like everything was lining up, every department was crushing it, you're scaling fast, you see the vision, everything is just clogging into place, and things are just getting easy, and you're building momentum. That shift can happen in less than 7 days, and I continue to get surprised by how fast that change can happen in my life. For an example, Monday last week, exactly 7 days ago, I felt like my world was crumbling. I felt like no department was performing, nothing was really going as it should. This week, though, 7 days later, I feel like I've fixed the constraint in every department. I have made so much progress, I have complete clarity, and I got no stress over the future. And that literally, no kidding, happened in less than a week. That's my first learning lesson, how fast things can change. My second learning lesson is that when you go to bed and when you wake up is the number one biggest lever to your life. If you want to see somebody succeed or fail, you want to look at their sleep schedule. I know it sounds absurd, but I would say with a 95% accuracy, if you sleep at the same time every day, you sleep enough hours, you wake up and go to bed consistently. For me, it's early. For most people, it's about going to bed and waking up early. For some people, it's really late. But as long as you have a consistent, predictable schedule that you follow, and as long as you keep that one habit dialed in, all the other habits become easy. I know so many people that try to meditate every day, journal, pray, do a cold shower, hit 2 workouts a day, drink 5 liters of water, have this perfect diet. They try to sleep well, all these things, but then if their sleep fall behind, I can tell for a fact that none of the other stuff will be followed, because sleep is the number one fundamental thing that you gotta start off with before anything else. So if you can go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day, you got your number one biggest lever taken out already, and it's just about continuing to win after that point. Now, third learning lesson for the week is that it's not about how much you work, but what you work on. This one was huge for me. This week, I had a really good week work-wise. I made a lot of progress on a lot of departments, on a lot of big areas. But after all of that, I still don't feel like I put in that much work. I feel like I've had a lot of other weeks where I work way more hours. But the output, the actual change, the improvement in the company was a 10x this week. And I've had other weeks where I feel like I work every day, I follow my schedule, but nothing really happens. So I got reinforced this week that it's not about how much you work, it's not about the hours, it's not about the focus during the hours, it's about what you choose to work on and what you get done. So maybe you work half as much, but you work on something that is 3 times as valuable for the company. And that might sound impossible, but it's very possible. Most meetings, for example, are a complete waste of time and don't need to be taken. Try having no meetings for a week with your team and see if anything actually changes. That was my third learning lesson. It's not about how much you work, but what you work on. And that's how people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Alex Hormozi, these people are so much ahead of me and probably you. It's because they work on different stuff. Now, fourth one. This one is not super relevant, but I thought it was kind of cool. Whenever you do coaching with somebody, whenever you learn from somebody, whenever you anything, where you get basically a content or information from somebody. The first hour is always going to be more valuable than the next 3 hours combined. Let me give you an example. If you do coaching and you sell an hour of your time for $500, chances are that the first hour that you sell to, say, Bob, the first hour that you sell to Bob would be more valuable than hour 2, 3, and 4. So it doesn't really make sense that you charge the same amount for hour 1 and hour 2, 3, and 4. Even though it takes the same amount of time for you, does it really provide the same amount of value to them? Or do they get all your secrets on the first hour, and then the second, third, and fourth hour, it's really just holding you accountable, filling in details, and so on. So oftentimes, if you buy coaching from somebody, if you're going to hire somebody, ask yourself, can I just buy half of their time, and I'm probably going to get 90% of the value anyways. And I used to be really against hiring people who are not going to be full-time 100% with my company. Recently, I realized, though, that that's usually not needed because they can provide 90% of the value in 10% of the hours. It's the 80-20 principle, but on steroids. With that said, that's all I got. Goodbye. By the way, I forgot to mention almost. It's the last week of November coming up now. I'm going to make sure it's a good week. I'll talk to you about my goals this week. First goal this week is to get the ISA side cost per show to sub $300 per qualified show. So our B2C performance hasn't been as good as it's once been, and our partners are suffering from it, and our revenue is suffering from it. So we're going to make sure we step that up. Second, our lead gen build out is finished. Basically, we are working on another offer that I can't talk too much about right now, but we are working on that build out basically, and I want to make sure we finish that this week. Then I want to make sure that we can get our media buyers to follow a structured to-do list. I know it sounds so simple, but our media buyers are scattered right now. Fifth, we want our closers to close 2 people each. Last week they did 1 person each. And then lastly, ramp ad spend up to $1,000 per day. That's my goals. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Goodbye.